everyone, and welcome back to Nerd Talk Podcast Special Edition. I am your host, Wesley Weeks, and today we have a small little segment that we are going to be talking about obscure censorship in anime.
Konnichiwa, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. You're listening to Nerd Talk Podcast, your one-stop entertainment for all anime and manga, along with other various topics within the nerd community. Without further ado, on to the show.
To get started, there are two topics that I'm going to be talking about with censoring in anime, and that is going to be dealing with scene changes and dialogue changes. These are usually the biggest ones, and right now, dialogue change is actually the biggest one currently. A lot of the scene changes were more in the early days of anime, such as with One Piece, Sailor Moon, and even DBZ. These are like the big three back in like the early 90s and 2000s, and these were heavily censored. DBZ was due to the fact that it was very violent, a lot of blood. It fit really well for young boys. It's like, ooh, look how strong these guys are. And with that, there was a lot of blood and violence that needed to be toned down. They didn't show as much blood. They changed to like where people were like apparently glowing inside when people's arms got cut off, like the sparkle effect. Now, getting into our second portion of this segment is dialogue change. You would probably ask, since it's Japanese, nothing's going to translate properly. You are absolutely correct. Nothing from another language ever translates 100%. There is still that one little level of why did you choose that particular dialogue for the translation? In the anime series Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, there was a scene where the dialogue was questionable dealing with two of the characters, Toru and Lucula. Lucula is basically a very busty kind of person. She's also a dragon, so a busty dragon in human form. The running gag with her is that she's always underexposed and people were always telling her to cover up and stuff like that. In the Japanese version, it reads as, "Everyone was always saying something to me, so I tried toning down the exposure." In the English version, "Oh, those pesky patriarchal society demands were getting on my nerves, so I changed clothes." Which conveys the same thing, but it changes the tone and personality of the character. You go from happy to go to being snobby about it. So those were some examples of censorship in anime. I hope you enjoyed this short segment. Look forward to my episode 2 on Gundams with my friend Wayne Larson. Until then, Jane.
Thank you again for listening to Nerd Talk Podcast, your one-stop anime and nerd entertainment. Until next time, Jane.